Encanto is a new animated film from Disney and has actually been marketed as the 60th animated film from them. In fact, the film starts off with that specific title card with the Walt Disney Animation Studios. And so that's pretty awesome. In this movie, you follow a family that has existed for several generations that have lived in this house, an Encanto, if you will, which is powered by basically magic. And the generations of kids that have come since then have received different gifts and different abilities and fantastical things that they can do, except for Mirabel Madrigal, played by Stephanie Beatriz, who doesn't have any abilities. She's just a normal person like you and me. But when some things start to happen and she can see those things happening and she's trying to stop them from having some devastating impacts on the family as a whole, she has to do something to make it happen. This is a film that I actually had no idea about. I knew a lot of the marketing was going around. I saw a lot of the posters, and I know a lot of screenings happened weeks ago. And so I was going into this film with the word of mouth being fairly positive around it, and I just wanted to see what they would cook up. I mean, I was excited to see the story. I heard the music was being done by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who's been having a baller year. I mean, with In the Heights and Vivo on Netflix, which I'm sure most people didn't even hear about. This Tick Tick Boom on Netflix, which I will review. I did watch that and I do want to talk about it. And Encanto was a wonderful movie. I would say with their core animation department, with this and Raya, Disney is 2 for 2 this year. They did a really great job with this movie. Not only is it a beacon for representation in terms of the Latinx community, which is something that can be said for a couple of other Lin-Manuel Miranda joints this year, which is, awesome. But it's also for the fact that this film isn't capturing that spirit and capturing the culture, but it's also celebrating the characters that are in it in a way that they're appealing to anybody in the world. And I think the film is really, really damn good. Beautifully animated, first of all. This is a gorgeous movie. The colors are just so vibrant, and there's a splash of them every time something is happening on screen. There's a character in particular named Isabella who can do things with flowers, and a lot of moments with her are very colorful as a result of that. And one of my favorite visuals in the movie involves a song which happens later on that involves a lot of those things. I'm not going to go too much into spoilers because you want to go and check out the film for yourself. It also has some really great voice acting. I think Stephanie Beatriz does an amazing job in the lead role. I think she really carries, obviously she's carrying the film through, but she does it really, really well. I actually was a little concerned at first because when I heard that was the whole thing with the story, that she was the only one who didn't have powers, I thought, oh, okay, so we're gonna get the same old, trying to do something that'll eventually lead to some kind of powers. And I'm not gonna talk too much about where her character goes, but I was actually invested in her journey throughout. And it also helps that the character is done in such an endearing way and such a charismatic way that in part to the very lifelike animation that is there for her. She's constantly in motion. And for the fact that Stephanie Beatriz is a master when it comes to very eccentric characters. If you've watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you get a good idea of what exactly I'm getting at over there. But she does a really, really good job here. The music, it is wonderful. All the songs and the score, they really are amazing. And they're some of the best for a Disney movie in quite some time, in fact. I would say in terms of soundtracks, like if I had to think about it, I would say this is maybe the best Disney music since Moana. Coincidentally, also a film with Lin-Manuel Miranda music, so I'm starting to see the common link in that particular regard. Really, really great soundtrack though. I'm curious to hear what everybody's favorite song was, because really any particular choice works in over here. Like I said at the beginning of my description, there is a lot of cultural representation in this, and yeah, very much so. The film definitely hones in on that quite a bit, and it's a celebration. In my audience, there weren't a lot of people. I saw it pretty early in the morning, but there was these couple of kids behind me who were getting really invested in it, and to the point that I was actually quite like happy about it. Like I just didn't expect that to sort of hit the way it did, and I thought that was really cool that that did happen. So that's great. Although at first I was a little worried because they walked into the theater and they were a little noisy at first about trailers and stuff, and I thought, oh god, please don't be like this the whole movie. But surprisingly, they were super nice throughout the rest of the film. So great. As is the case with most Disney animated films, yes, there's a moral message in this. You will definitely walk out of this movie with some kind of a theme or note that is hit over here. It's a theme that you may have seen a bunch of times before, like when it finally does hit, it's about, the idea of accepting everybody and stuff like that. But the way it's done is really lovely. They handle it in a really beautiful way. In fact, there's a scene in particular that genuinely you get swept up in it. It's a really well done moment, and that's something that I tend to like about some movies every now and then. Whenever they handle themes that you may have seen before, every now and then they have this way of sort of placing the narrative around it, in a unique way and getting through to you in that emotional sense. And I think the fact that they're able to do that even after all these years with the movies, I think that's pretty cool. So yes, I absolutely recommend Encanto. Please go check it out. Take your kids, take everyone you can, and just enjoy it. It's a colorful, exciting film with a really interesting story around it and a really interesting lead character. Lots of great supporting characters too. Her sisters, her abuela, her parents. There's a cousin at one point in time. All of them, they're really, really great. And I think that they all hit the nail on the head. So yeah, definitely go check this out. I'm gonna give Encanto a 9 out of 10. It's out in theaters now, so you can definitely go check it out. I believe this is the first Disney exclusive animated film in theaters since the pandemic started, because I think Soul and Luca and all that, they went to Disney Plus, and then Raya got a premiere access thingy with it. But no, this one is exclusively in theaters for a while. So yeah, definitely go check it out if you can. And guys, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to more reviews very soon. As always, if you like this, please just subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the movies.